This is probably, hopefully, our last tutorial. So what we're going to do is add some graffiti to this. So if we look at our pure references, I think we have some cool graffiti. A lot of this is aged. We'll talk about that later, but I just want you to learn how to pull in graffiti. All right, so I just did a really quick look at some graffiti, and this is just educational, so I'm not making any profit off this, but I'm just going to hit Command Control Shift 4, and I don't know what that is for a PC, but that'll make a little marquee or a bullseye, and you'll be able to grab that if you want. Again, we're just using this for classroom exercise. So we're going to go into Photoshop. You can see I already started it, so I'm just going to hit Command N as a Nancy, and that'll give us the exact ratio that we just copied, and I'm going to hit Command V. All right, everyone should know this from your foundation classes. All right, so what we want to do is actually invert this. This is black text, and we all want this as white text. So again, you should know this from, hopefully from foundations, is to go into image adjustments, and we want to invert this. We want the black white, and we want the white black. So we're going to hit invert, and we want to save this as a PSD. So that's just a Photoshop, fancy word for Photoshop, and I'm going to call this B plus black and white plus underscore 2, because I already have one here. So I just know it's a second one. All right, we're going to save. All right, so we're going to go back into Substance Painter, and we're wanting to add some graffiti and so forth. All right, so the first thing we want to do is bring in that texture that we just made. So we're going to go File, Import Resources, and we're going to add resources. Very straightforward, PSD. All right, so this is probably the most important part. So if you're importing a whole bunch, you have to identify what each one is. So if we are going to do an alpha for cutting or something like that, we do an alpha. So we just want to do a texture. Environment is if we were going to do a HDRMI or a 360 video or 360 image for lighting. So we're just going to go ahead and tell it for current session, and you should see it pop up over here in your library. All right, I have a whole bunch of junk in my library. We should probably cache it out. So what we're going to do is use this as our stencil. All right, it's basically like a stencil that you would use painting numbers onto whatever. All right, so instead of doing our paint bucket, we're going to use something called paint brush here. All right, so this is going to be a little bit different. This may show up over here. It's all different in the DOS lab for some reason, but we have our paint, and you'll see it's a little bit different header, and we're going to go all the way to the top and scroll down, and where it says stencil, we want to add our stencil. All right, so we're going to go in here and drag it where it does a plus sign, or you could click on there and figure out where your stencil is, and we're looking for our B black and white underscore 2. All right, one of the things you can hit is S, and you can make this bigger, smaller, so it fits your scene. Also, Alt is just like moving your can around. And one thing I didn't tell you guys is, especially this is just a very simple form, but Option and Shift will snap it into right angles, so we could just hit Shift and do that. So middle mouse, oscillate, just like Maya. All right, so this is going to be our first stencil. So we're ready to go. Our color is white for now, and you can always change your color down here to yellow or whatever. So right now it's automatically white. So we're going to go ahead and paint that on, and of course it's not working. So it should be working. Let's see, make sure all our attributes are on. So color. Let's see, why is this not working? All right, so let's delete that. Let's rinse and repeat. All right, let's see. Okay, so you need to make sure you have your brush on. I had this finger selected, so that is good that you got to see me have some confusion there. All right, so just add our tag here. Looks pretty good. I want to add some others. We're just going to go around and hit S, and we'll add some angle to the next one, because all graffiti is not perfect. You have to be quick on your feet when you're doing a graffiti. So I am going to rotate this and start hitting different angles of it. All right. New York. All right. There's also Chicago. There's also other cool places. Don't have to do the Bronx, the New York, and stuff like that. All right, so cool. So we're going to stop that, and what I did is hit that little finger so we wouldn't have this on anymore. All right, so we can turn this off by just clicking on a different layer, and you can see right off the bat we have this on there. So if you did want to go in there, and you could go onto that layer, and you could have that bump up. We do have our height and bump on, and you could select that and make it bump up off the surface. All right, so that is that. I will probably add another one to this in just a second. We'll show you how to do decals, maybe old decals of how dangerous things are in this container.